My name is Tricia Chen, and I'm a 34-year-old senior data scientist at Quantum Analytics. I built my career on finding patterns in chaos, on detecting anomalies in massive datasets. I never thought I'd have to run those same algorithms on my own life. The red flag appeared on a Tuesday morning, buried in our shared credit card statement. It wasn't the amount that caught my attention: $487.32 at a boutique hotel in downtown Seattle. It was the timestamp: 2:47 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon. My husband, Derek Morrison, was supposed to be in a client meeting that afternoon. I remembered because I'd texted him good luck, and he'd responded with a thumbs-up emoji at 2:15 p.m. But credit card transactions don't lie. They have geolocation data, merchant codes, and precise timestamps. The purchase was made 47 miles from where his client meeting was scheduled. I'm a data scientist. Anomalies are my specialty. And this one was screaming. I didn't confront Derek immediately. That would be emotional, reactive, the opposite of how I operate. Instead, I did what I do best. I collected data. I created a hidden folder on my personal laptop and began to build what I privately called Project Deviation. Every morning, I exported our financial transactions, his calendar data, we shared access for household coordination, and his location history from our family tracking app. Within 2 weeks, I had identified a pattern. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Client meetings with Cortex Solutions. Location data showed he was actually at the Meridian Apartments, Building C. Corresponding charges: rideshare services, florist deliveries, restaurant purchases. I cross-referenced the apartment building's resident directory with his LinkedIn connections. One name appeared: Sienna Valdez, 28, marketing director at a competing firm. Her Instagram was public. I didn't need to follow her. I just needed to scrape the data. I built a simple Python script to download her posts with timestamps and geotags. The correlation was undeniable. Every time Derek's location showed him at the Meridian, Sienna posted Instagram stories from home. "Cozy afternoon." She'd caption a photo of wine glasses and a view I recognized from the apartment listing photos. Derek came home one evening with unusual enthusiasm. He'd been distant for months, but tonight he was animated, affectionate even. "Tricia, I have an incredible opportunity," he said, pouring us wine. "You know how I've been wanting to break out on my own? I found the perfect business venture." He slid a prospectus across our kitchen island. "Morrison and Associates Consulting. I've already got 3 potential clients lined up, but I need capital for the launch. About $150,000. I flipped through the document. It looked professional: letterhead, financial projections, market analysis. "Where would the money come from?" I asked calmly. "Well, we'd take it from our joint savings. I know that's your inheritance from your grandmother, but this is an investment in our future, Tricia. In us. Our future." The words tasted like ash. "Let me review the financials," I said. "Give me a week to run the numbers." He smiled, relieved. "Of course. That's why I married a genius." That night, I ran the numbers. But not the ones he expected. I'd been monitoring our finances for 2 months. Now I went deeper, requesting 7 years of bank records, credit statements, and tax returns. What I found was systematic financial infidelity. The shell company. Derek had created DM Consulting LLC 3 years ago. It had its own business account that I'd never been told about. Monthly transfers from our joint account labeled business development were actually being routed there. Total: $127,000. The paper trail. I found lease agreements, utility bills, and furniture receipts. Derek had furnished Sienna's entire apartment using our money. The timeline: using receipt timestamps and location data, I mapped their relationship. It started 14 months ago, right after I took on additional responsibilities at work to boost our household income. But the most damning evidence came from Derek's own business proposal. I noticed the financial projections used a specific algorithm for client acquisition forecasting. It was oddly sophisticated for a consulting startup. I recognized the model. It was proprietary software from Sienna's company. I searched the document metadata. The original author: Sienna Valdez. Last modified 3 days ago. Derek hadn't written this proposal. Sienna had. And buried in the fine print of page 47 was a clause that made my blood run cold. In the event of business dissolution, all capital investment shall be retained by Morrison & Associates LLC, with investor reimbursement subject to profit-sharing terms outlined in Section 12.3. Section 12.3 essentially said, if the business failed, I'd get nothing back. And the LLC designated Derek and Sienna as equal partners. They weren't asking for startup capital. They were laundering my inheritance into a joint asset they'd control together. I worked through the night, building my own presentation. This one had hard data, visualizations, and an airtight narrative. The next morning, I called a family meeting. But I also invited two other people. My attorney, Patricia Hoffman, and my brother Marcus, who happens to be a forensic accountant. Derek walked into our dining room and froze. "What's this?" he asked, seeing the additional people. "A business meeting," I said calmly. "You presented an investment opportunity. I'm presenting my findings." I opened my laptop and projected the first slide. Project Deviation. A forensic analysis of financial fraud. "What the hell, Tricia?" Derek's face went red. "Sit down," Patricia said. "You're going to want to hear this." I walked them through everything. The location tracking overlaid with his claimed schedule. The $127,000 in diverted marital funds. The shell company formation documents. Screenshots of Sienna's apartment lease with his signature as co-signer. The business proposal's metadata showing Sienna as the author. "And here's the interesting part," I said, pulling up my final slide. "The business proposal you asked me to invest $150,000 in? It's designed to fail." I displayed the financial projections. These numbers are intentionally optimistic. No consulting firm achieves 340% client growth in year one without existing infrastructure. This proposal was designed to look legitimate enough to extract my money, but structured to ensure I'd never see it again when it inevitably collapsed. Derek was speechless. "You've been spying on me?" "I've been analyzing publicly available data and our shared accounts," I corrected. "Everything here is legally obtained. Unlike the $127,000 you embezzled from our marriage." Marcus slid a document across the table. "These are the findings of my forensic audit. In Washington state, this constitutes dissipation of marital assets. Tricia has grounds to request full reimbursement plus penalties in divorce proceedings." "Divorce?" Derek's voice cracked. Patricia took over. "We filed this morning. You'll be served officially within the hour. But we're here to offer you a choice." She laid out two folders. Option 1. We go to court. Tricia presents all of this evidence. The judge awards her the house, full reimbursement of the $127,000, plus her legal fees. We also report the fraudulent business proposal to the State Attorney General's office, because soliciting investment in a venture you know will fail is securities fraud. Derek went pale. Option 2, Patricia continued. You sign this settlement agreement right now. You relinquish all claims to the house, the savings, and Tricia's retirement accounts. You liquidate the shell company and return every penny. You walk away with your 401k and your car. And we don't file criminal charges. You have 10 minutes to decide, I said. Derek signed. He had no choice. But I wasn't done. See, when I scraped Sienna's Instagram data, I'd noticed something interesting. Her lifestyle significantly exceeded her salary. Designer bags, luxury vacations, premium gym membership, all appearing in the last 14 months. I'd built a spending analysis model. Based on her known income and expenses, she had a funding gap of approximately $4,000 per month. I knew where that money was coming from, our joint account, filtered through Derek's shell company, landing in her account as consulting fees. I printed out the analysis and mailed it to Sienna's employer with a simple note. Your marketing director is receiving regular payments from a competitor's shell company. You may want to investigate if proprietary client information is being shared. I also sent a copy to the IRS. Those consulting fees Derek had been paying her? Never reported as income on her tax returns. 2 weeks later, Derek called me, frantic. Tricia, Sienna's company fired her. They're threatening to sue. And the IRS is auditing both of us. Did you? Did I report factual information to relevant authorities? Yes. Derek. That's called due diligence. You've destroyed her life. No, I said calmly. You both destroyed your own lives by committing tax fraud and embezzlement. I just documented it. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my home office. The house is mine now, fully paid off with the returned funds. Derek's shell company was dissolved, and he settled with the state for $50,000 in fines. Sienna is facing her own legal battles. My phone buzzes with a news alert. Derek's been arrested. Apparently, desperate for money after losing everything, he tried to run the same scheme on another woman. But this one was a prosecutor. She'd built her own evidence file and turned him in for attempted fraud. I don't feel vindictive. I don't feel sad. I feel clean. The numbers never lie. Patterns reveal truth. And sometimes the best revenge isn't emotional. It's mathematical. I close my laptop and walk to the window. The Seattle skyline glitters in the distance. Somewhere out there, someone else is probably ignoring the anomalies in their own life, explaining away the statistical deviations, refusing to see the pattern. I hope they're better at math than Derek thought I was. Because in the end, the algorithm always wins. A year later, I get an email from a woman named Jessica. She found my professional profile online and noticed I'd worked on fraud detection systems. I think my husband is hiding something, she writes. I'm not crazy, right? The numbers don't add up. I smile and open a new project folder. This one, I'll call Project Deviation 2.0. Because once you learn to see the patterns, you can't unsee them. And every person who's been gaslit into doubting their own data deserves someone who believes in the numbers. The algorithm never lies. And neither do I.